Hello, everybody, and welcome to Top Rope Reality this week for episode 56, part 1.
No more double nickel woo!
No more double hashtag.
Double nickel woo. That's right, that was fun. Double nickel woo.
That was fine. I mean, we're heading on toward 100 now.
We are more than halfway there.
More than halfway there, you're right.
That's amazing. Over a year.
In the making.
More than a year in the making, exactly.
Well, let's get started with some sad news. I mean,
Very sad news.
It's kind of a strange week.
It is. 3 things in a row we have bad news right now. That's not good.
That's not good.
Not good at all.
And two of them are champions.
2 of them are champions, so that's
current champions. Not good.
One of them a legend.
And let's start with the passing of the legend Verne Gagne. Passed away this past.
Hall of Famer and legendary promoter and wrestler Verne Gagne. But, you know, they showed it on Breaking News on the network. Scott Stanford talking to Mean Gene Okerlund over the phone. And I do agree with Mean Gene that I believe it was dementia, I believe that he was suffering from. It had something to do with memory and all that, or Alzheimer's, one of them.
Right.
He's been suffering for so long. I mean, they said at one point that he was even beating up people in the nursing home, but just because he didn't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You
just don't know, and of course,
it's a very sad,
for years that's all he did, and it is wrestle people. So of course he reverted back to that kind of thing. So you know he's not suffering anymore.
No,
so that's the good thing about this. But of course we feel for the family, and we hope that they can hopefully move on and enjoy the rest of their lives.
Yeah, you hate to see him go, but they know that he is better off.
Yes, he is very much better off now, and once again, we hope that the family's doing well and that everybody can move on with their lives and continue just to continue his legacy, if you will.
Oh yes, because he had a legacy.
He had a huge legacy.
I mean, how many greats come through AWA?
He trained his camp.
He trained. I know. So many.
Flair and Steamboat and Hogan even. I mean, just the people
the
they
Iron
talked about.
Sheik.
I think, was it Slaughter too?
Slaughter was an AWS.
I mean, just the whole list of people. There would be no Mean Gene without Verne.
That's right.
There would be no Bobby the Brain without Verne.
Nick Bockwinkel.
He had Andre first.
Yes.
He had Hogan. He started Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
He was the one that gave him that name. I mean, it's amazing what Verne produced. I mean, he was almost like a developmental company for the WWF. You know, I mean, they just, if it wasn't for AWA, I don't think WWF in the '80s would have succeeded because they plucked most of their talent.
Yes, a lot of people. You go down the list of people that were working for Vince were coming from the AWA.
Exactly. So it's amazing, and I mean, he has such a legacy, and he'll never be forgotten. That's for sure.
Well, let's get on to the 2 champions. First, Daniel Bryan.
Has been pulled from all
everything.
Future events. The rumor is WWE expects Bryan to be out for a month or 2.
And
it's not looking good, and like we were just saying off camera, that there's a possibility that I mean, this is twice now. They knew last time with the whole neck injury that he was not going to be able to continue.
Right.
And they just did the whole, feel-good moment for the championship belt. But now it's 2 belts in a row, 2 WrestleManias in a row. They cannot depend on someone that is getting that hurt that much. They may not put a belt on him anymore.
He's going to have to get surgery because he didn't get the surgery.
He didn't get the surgery last time.
He went through stuff, stayed out,
and now they're saying this has to do with concussion, but head includes neck.
Yeah.
And they said that even John Cena criticized him for not getting that surgery last time.
You're out that long, might as well.
I just say go ahead and stay out as long as you need to and get the corrective surgery and get it over with, even if you have to come back with a lesser move set with
John Cena 5
exactly with not being as rough in the ring because he's a very stiff wrestler and he's very hard hitting, so he may just have to change his style because health comes first.
Oh, most definitely. Jeff Hardy, TNA World Tag Team Champion. He was injured
Not in the ring.
Not in the ring. On a motorcycle.
Yes,
or dirt bike accident.
Out in his backyard where he has his own dirt bike track where he's built it up, and apparently I saw the video. You can't really see where he's hurt, but you see where he crashes, but he's so far away.
Yeah,
but apparently he broke his leg and had to have surgery, so he will be out probably 6 to 8 weeks.
So will they strip the Hardys of the tag team titles, which they just gave to them?
They just got them, and then because of it was Eddie Edwards is injured, so Davey Richards is going to stick around just to do X Division. But I was telling you this, and you're like, that's a great point. You need to bring it up. And they've done it before. They did it with AMW and Triple X, where they split the two teams up, and the two teams became partners of each other. They could do this again. They could pull Davey Richards into this, where Matt Hardy, they tell Matt Hardy you can choose any partner you want to help you defend the tag team titles until Jeff is better, and Davey Richards could be chosen to do that.
You could push that for a couple of weeks.
You could push that for quite a while, where he's talking to different wrestlers in the backstage, where he's asking them, different questions to see if they would fit the mold to continue on as tag team champion, and then he comes out one week and makes the big announcement.
He could talk to him. They could have a match.
Right.
And you still know. And
Right.
then he leads up in so many weeks, and he says, "Okay, I made a decision." And then he brings out Davey Richards as Davey could be the first or second one he uses, and you don't know,
Right. So he picks Davey Richards. They continue to defend the tag team titles, but then when Jeff Hardy comes back, it'd be a perfect storyline. And Eddie Edwards comes back. Jeff Hardy comes back and goes right back into the tag team fold. And then Davey Richards says, "I'm just a placeholder." He gets pissed off, and then, like you were talking about, great idea of Matt and Jeff Hardy versus the Wolves in a best-of-7 series with the tag team titles basically held up. And what would be a great thing is, of course, they're going all 7 matches, of course.
Of course.
The 7th one could be a ladder match because the titles are held up. Because should Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards be tag team champions because Davey Richards is one half of them, or should it be Matt and Jeff? It would be a great scenario that they could work through all this, but I don't know if they're listening.
It writes itself.
It does write itself, but you hired somebody else, and so
yes.
I'm just saying.
And Dave Meltzer claimed that one of the wrestlers for TNA was threatening to walk out and go to Jeff Jarrett's GFW if he didn't get his money like he's supposed to on time.
Apparently he received his checks and they were on time.
Well, I guess threatening. You run a threat, people will listen.
Yes, this wrestler remained anonymous in the situation, but I could only imagine some of them are very close. Like Abyss is very close to Jeff Jarrett. So is James Storm. There's a lot of them in the roster still.
And the producers, the producers of the shows are not getting paid.
Right.
And you're
like
on that ice there when you start messing with wrestlers and everything like that.
They're saying that the production staff, like the lighting people and all that kind of stuff, cameras and all that. You don't want to mess with that kind of stuff.
No, you don't.
Because if you don't have cameramen, you don't have a wrestling show.
And if Jeff gets his up and running, hey, if he can pay, I believe there's going to be a lot of people jumping.
Yep.
Who know they can't make it in the WWE will go and work for Jeff again.
Oh, yeah. And with it being in Vegas and everything, it's going to have a big fight feel, and it may do very well. I hope it does.
And speaking of working for Jeff Jarrett.
And Global Force Wrestling.
Jim Cornette.
As long as they don't hire Vince Russo, Jim Cornette will work very well with them.
Hey,
another person who I've thought about, who works well with Jim Cornette, is someone that I can't understand what they're going to do with him in WWE, and that is Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantell. Both of them worked together with Jarrett in TNA, and Dutch Mantell was in charge of the Knockouts division, which back then when he was doing it was a great division. So could he possibly have his contract run out with WWE and go with Global Force? Because, what are they going to do with him? They're not doing anything with Swagger.
No. And when he shows up, he gets beat.
Yes. So, and there's been no more updates on Zeb. I know he had to have surgery, but there's been nothing else new.
Like whatever.
Right. So I hope he comes back. I like managers, but still at the same time, it's like he was always secondary compared to Paul Heyman, and I don't like that. But.
No. And TNA's got a new member on the creative staff.
Like I said, they hired them instead of us.
Yeah.
Armchair bookers over here.
Pumpkins lead man, Billy Corgan.
Corgan, C-O-R-G-A-N, however you say that.
But do you think it's a good addition? I mean, I've heard some of the things he said.
He was with, he started Resistance Pro Wrestling, and they even got to the point where they had a reality show, but the company, I think it was AMC, whatever company it was that they were under, that television station cut all reality shows out, so they had like 4 episodes and they were done. Which is unfortunate, but he left them, and he's still touring with Smashing Pumpkins. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of Skyping with each other, FaceTime, stuff of that nature, in order to have these meetings.
I mean, if he helps it, I think it's a good thing.
Did you see where he was talking about there's going to be a lot more reality to it, to having characters dealing with like transgender issues and things of that nature? I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. Orlando Jordan getting hired again. I mean, I understand real world issues. But I get it. And I know they want to be different from WWE, so they might go the more sexual route. But with Destination America becoming crazier when it comes to having, their hands on the product than Spike even was. Destination America may say this is family friendly.
Man, there'd be a lot of button heads, and
there might be. So we'll see how much influence, how much things start changing on the television shows.
We'll see. Well, one thing
when he starts.
This is great. I mean, I have to stand up a little bit. I'm standing up a little bit and applaud TNA for this.
Yes.
This week's show is going to be live.
It's going to be live. So there's,
and usually it will.
Yes.
Who's going to show up that hasn't been around in a while?
Right. Well, have it finally show back.
Whose titles will change hands?
Right.
Because Dixie has a thing of doing that. I think she's already teasing big surprises already.
Yeah, she's already teased it on Twitter.
Just say live, and that's one good thing there. That's a big surprise.
Right.
You ain't got to go.
That is a big surprise.
Tune in to see who's showing up, who may show up, who ain't going to show up, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. Just say you're live. That's 100% better than being taped 3 months in advance.
Yes. Which, of course, that means there would be 3 more months of advance taping after, was it Friday nights now?
Friday nights, yep.
So after
Destination America.
After that live one, it'll be a bunch of taped ones. But I would like to see where they go with this live one to see if it'll pique my interest, because all I do is get to be, because I'm working, but I get to see the highlight videos and stuff like that. Also,
will there be surprises? Of course there'll be surprises.
Also, they said that the Josh Matthews got someone on the announce table with him this past episode.
Said that a while back when we first started talking about it.
Right, Al Snow. Yes, Al Snow was working with him, so it's a tough enough one all over again at the announce table. So, could he be the permanent addition to the commentary team?
He may be. But
they're already paying him, so why add anybody else?
That's right. You brought up Tough Enough, which is coming back.
It is finally coming back.
Well, this past Monday on Raw, King of the Ring returned.
Finally, with the finals being on the network. Yes. Only $9.99 on Tuesday live.
Very good. And they said this is just the first of many things that they will do on Tuesday night, which I do love.
How cool would that be if in November they did a Survivor Series special live on a Tuesday?
I would love it. I would love it right before Thanksgiving.
Yes, that'd be cool.
So we brought up, I got a few former King of the Ring champions.
Yes.
And we're going to go over them and see who was King of the Ring. A lot of these, I look at the list and I go, I don't remember him being King of the Ring.
Right.
I don't remember him being a king. I mean, you got certain ones. King Booker.
You always remember him.
The Macho King.
Yes, of course.
King Harley Race. Yes. King Haku.
Yes.
But see, Haku didn't win the King of the Ring tournament.
Really?
He just beat somebody who became king. Yes.
I see that now. The early days.
Yes.
Wonder who he beat then.
But
probably
you had
probably Tito.
Probably Tito. Yes, I don't remember Tito Santana being.
That's probably why.
And of course you had Brett. Brett became the king. Owen. But you start off with Don the Rock Morocco was king in 1985.
That's when the King of the Ring started, and then of course King Harley Race in 1986. Macho King Randy Savage in 1987. And the $1 Million King, I guess.
I don't remember Teddy Rossi being king.
I don't remember that either.
Nope.
In 1988, but they didn't even go with the $1 Million King thing.
Nope. Yeah, 89 was Chico Santana.
Chico.
And then they skipped 90, and skipped 92. 91, 93 was Brett.
Yep.
That's when they started. That's when they started the King of the Ring pay-per-view, because Brett was the first one.
Yes.
The pay-per-views.
And then the Black Hearts.
Owen Hart, which that was good for him.
Yes, very good.
That's what I'm mostly going over. When you were king, did it help your career or hurt your career? And see, a lot of people, it did help. Owen helped Owen. I think it helped Mabel. That got him away from being mental dimension.
Yes, mental dimension. It helped. I mean, Morocco. Don't remember that.
The biggest one. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin 316 started when he was King of the Ring.
Yes. Did it help Morocco? I don't think so. Harley Race, it revitalized him because he was an older guy coming in towards the end of his career, so that was interesting. Savage, I think it helped him. Ted DiBiase don't remember. Nope. Tito don't remember him. King Haku, even though he didn't win it, that helped him. Bret Hart helped him. Owen Hart helped him. Mabel helped him. Austin with 316 helped him. Yeah.
Hunter.
Triple H helped him when they beat up Mankind that night.
And that was in 97. 98 was Shamrock. Don't remember Shamrock winning King of the Ring or being nothing.
Billy Gunn, don't remember that in 99.
Don't remember him in 99. Kurt Angle. It helped Kurt.
It did help Kurt.
Being King helped Kurt.
Remember, he was winning everything back to back to back to back right when he first got there. Edge
in 2001.
I remember him winning.
But did it help?
And I don't even think it was a crown then. It was a big trophy. Because Christian used to carry it around for him.
Yes, I do. Yep, that's right now. Yep.
Yeah.
Because some of the crowns are terrible.
It is. 2002, it did help Brock Lesnar. It was another thing to
But the thing about it, I don't remember Brock being King.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember Brock winning King.
That was the last one in a huge gap of like 3 years. But Brock Lesnar, I think it did. They didn't do the whole crown for him and all that. No. But it was another notch in his belt of things that he got to do.
Yes.
And then of course 2006 revitalized Booker T's career as
King Baka. 4 years.
Yes, 2003, 4, 5. They skipped 3 years there. Oh. And then came 2006. Yes. So 3 years of skip.
King Booker definitely had Booker.
2006, it was a SmackDown-only event, and that's why King Baka won it with Queen Sharmell. And then 2008 was a Raw-only event. I remember William Regal being the king.
Which, he is. He's royalty.
He is royalty.
He's regal.
And then in 2010, it was Sheamus versus John Morrison, I believe, in the finals.
Maybe right.
And Sheamus won.
Which was good
for him.
It helped him.
It did help him, and I think this will help this next person this year. They skipped 4 years that time.
The newest king and the 19th King of the Ring.
Yes.
19 Kings of the Ring.
Yes, 19 Kings of the Ring.
That is hard to celebrate.
It is a lot.
Bad news Barrett. If he can stay healthy, he will rule. He will rule as King of the Ring because I think it will fit him.
As what's his name from the movie Ready to Rumble? I will rule you.
Is it kind of like here you lost out on the Intercontinental title because of Daniel Bryan. So here we're going to give you the king. Did it feel that way to you? It felt that way to me because he didn't get the title shot. I guess he wasn't going to get the chance. Then he lost to the new guy Neville.
Right, but then he got to beat Neville.
And then he beat Neville.
Which I think that helps Neville being in the finals.
Which I really hate. I'm tired of you. You beat me, and I beat you. We'll get wins back and forth.
And that's what.
How many times do you see that?
How many times do you see not Lost Matadors? I'm so sorry to these people for saying that. Lucha Dragons beating the Ascension. Let them beat another heel team. Let them beat the Lost Matadors.
And the Ascensions are not getting their wins back.
No. Let them beat Lost Matadors. It'll at least be like a cruiserweight style match. But I do think this will help Bad News, and it may have been a forced thing to help him since he did not get a title match against the Intercontinental Champion. Maybe it's a way for them to kind of take Daniel Bryan out of the limelight for a little while and just focus on him. So hopefully everybody forgets that, hey, the Intercontinental title's not being defended right now.
Yes. Let's go to Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules results in the
pre-show.
Neville beat Bad News Barrett. We had talked about this on last week's episode.
Yes.
Though it should have been Bad News Barrett versus Neville for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And strip Daniel, but apparently they're waiting and biding their time. But thankfully that put the tag team titles in the pay-per-view.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen Extreme Rules, we have new tag team champions.
We do have new tag team champions. The New Day beat
Sucks.
Exactly. Beat Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. We both
We're a little cheating.
But we both said,
yes.
Tyson Kidd and Cesaro's going to retain, and then right after we said that, we're like, yeah, probably not.
Yes.
It's like we put it online, and then we thought about it, and we're like, yeah, they might actually win it, and they did. And they
Kiss My Arse
booty match.
We call that right to the line. I said if Dolph wins, he's
still kissing.
He's still kissing Sheamus' butt, and he kissed Sheamus.
He did, and there was very whitey, very whitey. My goodness.
Last man standing.
Did you even hear him on Raw where he said, "Nah, see, no tan lines."
Last man standing. If you're stupid if you couldn't call that one.
Yes, if you've been living under a rock.
I don't care if you're the biggest Big Show fan ever. He wasn't going to win that match.
No, because they know where their bread's buttered. They got to put over Roman Reigns.
Chicago Street Fight was interesting. It started the pay-per-view. They did 2 matches and they come back and finished
Yes,
up.
because they drove off and left the arena.
They drove off and drove around the streets of Chicago. United States
I do wish they had
match.
a camera and a helicopter, so I'm catching that.
Or the referee could have jumped in with the cameraman and they could have followed.
Right, absolutely, that would have been cool.
Fighting out there somewhere.
And I do think this match was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, but that's another one.
You knew it was going to happen.
No-brainer.
But the U.S. title Russian chain match was better than I thought, and it had, of course, Cena retain against Rusev. But I do like this, though. I do like how there's more tension with Rusev and Lana, and of course he made her go into the Authorities' locker room and get the rematch.
Well, they're talking about breaking them up anytime.
Yes,
so.
Lana's going to be apparently CJ. I guess is going to be her name. So I guess it's a good thing CJ Parker quit.
Yeah,
because he wouldn't have got the name.
Divas title was the only one we missed. I mean, together because we split on that one.
We split on that one. I said Nikki was going to retain. You said Naomi.
I thought,
but it doesn't make any sense. Naomi's a heel, but yet Nikki and Brie cheated to win. Don't make no sense.
And their faces now. What?
Weird.
What? Okay.
And then, of course, in the main event, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Steel Cage match, Seth Rollins, the champion, going against Randy Orton with the RKO is banned, and the gatekeeper is Kane. It was back and forth, back and forth. You thought, oh my goodness, Kane is so pissed off because they knocked him down.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets back up. He hits both of them in the head with the door.
Yeah.
And then he beats up J&J Security. Then he beats up Randy Orton. Then he beats up Seth. And then he puts Seth on top of Randy Orton. And still, they kicked out.
Randy kicked out, yeah.
And then, of course, Seth uses an SKO for the Seth knockout. And he won the match. It says RKO was banned. It never said the RKO was banned from Randy using it. That means RKO period should have been banned.
Well, it was. It was the SKO.
Come on now.
And the champion, Seth Rollins, is still champion because he used one of his new moves, the SKO.
The SKO.
Now let's talk here a little bit about, I mean, you may have some Ring of Honor, you may have some WrestleCade, you may have some House of Hardcore. What is your news this week, sir?
The news! House of Hardcore 9, Saturday, July the 18th. Pierre is, keep coming in here. Saturday, July the 18th, 2015, in Toronto, Canada. Tickets are on sale, and it will be that first taping for the Fight Network. July the 18th. So tickets are on sale, so if you live in Canada or if you're willing to travel, you might want to get your tickets. Ring of Honor Global Wars, also Toronto, Canada. They're getting a lot of events lately. May the 15th and the 16th, night 1 will be an IPPV. Ooh. The matches, The Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven versus Matt Sydal and Jushin Thunder Liger. That'll be a good tag match. ACH, that's an American name, and I still can't say it right. ACH taking on Nakamura. Cedric Alexander taking on Okada. That's going to be a good one.
Have you been learning?
I'm going to mess up on a couple of these, by the way. Michael Elgin versus Tanahashi. See, got it right. Tanahashi.
He's learning.
This is the one that's going to mess me up. Chris Sabin taking on...
You got Chris Sabin. They didn't mess you up.
Chris Sabin. Versus Kushida. Pretty close. Pretty close. And actually, I think it's actually Alex Shelley's tag team partner. So how ironic is that? That's the tag team partner of Alex Shelley in...
Alex Riley.
Not Alex Riley. Alex Shelley in Japan. And he's facing Alex Shelley's old tag team partner.
That is funny.
Woo! Guido and Moose taking on Watanabe. That's really the bad one.
Watanabe.
Exactly. And Silas Young. TV title match. Jay Lethal taking on, that looks like Naito.
I think that's Naito. How long is Jay Lethal going to hold that title?
I'm telling you. I think he's the longest reigning right now. Main event. This is going to be huge.
Good for Jay. I mean, that's good. I like Jay Lethal.
Yes.
I wish he would have made it to the WWE.
Yes.
I like Jay Lethal.
This is huge. The main event is worth the price of the IPPV, which is probably like $25. The Briscoes.
$24.95.
The Briscoes. Roderick Strong. And War Machine, which is Hanson, the guy that I like over there, and his tag team partner, who I cannot remember his name. So that's 5 people. War Machine, Briscoes, and Roderick Strong taking on Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, who are I think they may not be anymore, the IWGP heavyweight tag team champions, may still be, AJ Styles, and the Young Bucks. So it's
which are the Bullet Club.
Yes, the Ring of Honor All-Stars taking on the Bullet Club in the main event of the IPPV. That right there. That's
worth the mission alone.
Exactly. And I hope you did not read this ahead because I think you're going to be excited about this.
I didn't read it ahead.
Good.
I can hardly read your chicken scratch anyway.
Good.
So
WrestleCade news.
I print out stuff. So
WrestleCade news. We've got new names. This
new
is huge,
names.
Huge. This guy I saw in the opening match against the current AIWF World Heavyweight Champion Damian Wayne at the other WrestleCade I went to. Greek god Papadon, very good wrestler. Tatanka will be there. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's his first time being there. Wow. And returning, Mr. Sam Houston.
Jake Roberts' half-brother.
Half-brother, yes.
And Rockin' Robin's
Used to be married to Baby Doll, I think. They're divorced now.
Could be.
And the big one.
Sam Houston, Rockin' Robin, Jake, all
Grizzly Smith's
they got
kid,
the same daddy and different mamas.
Something.
Because he got around.
And this is right here. This might be the reason Mike Hogan would actually go to North Carolina. First time ever this man will be at WrestleCade. Ladies and gentlemen, huge Japanese star, former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, Stan the Lariat Hansen. That is awesome. That is awesome. I've always wanted to meet him. He is a great star.
Oh, he is.
Huge in Japan.
He is huge.
Huge in Japan. And, I mean, he quit WCW on the fly, just never came back to the States. So, I mean, that'll be cool to get his autograph and to see him, take a picture, all that kind of stuff.
After saying Bobby Heenan.
Well, of course, but I knew you were a fan of Stan Hansen, so I thought you'd like that. That may be pretty cool there. But that is all of my indie news this week.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed part one. I know we did.
Yes, very good part one. A lot of news.
It was a lot of news, up and down. We had emotions here and there.
Yes,
people out with injuries, people dying. I mean, it's just losing money, gaining money. It was a whole big old basket of different things this week. That's true. And now with part two coming up, we're going to talk about SummerSlam 89. Feel the heat.
Feel the heat.
Feel the heat, folks. Feel that heat.
Yes, in the Meadowlands Arena.
That's
probably not even around anymore.
No, it's probably not.
Yeah, they probably exploded that one. So this is going to be huge. This main event, only one person should not have been in it. But anyway,
we'll talk about that in a few clicks.
Come back and find out who that person is.
'Cause I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm Justin Carter.
And we'll see you in a few clicks.